My name is Savanah Tebeau-Sherry. I'm a multidisciplinary artist in Burlington, Vermont. I work in a variety of mediums, from drawing in pencil, colored pencil, to painting in acrylics and oils. I really value expressing vulnerability and liveliness in my artwork, and I very much connect with like the human form and connection, themes of love, things like that. While at UVM, I was also a student athlete, and a lot of my work was about kind of body image, mental health, those kind of connections, the pressures on the female body specifically. And I think that kind of propelled me into my work now, which is very figurative, a lot of the time kind of surreal and distorted as well. I really like to play with perspective of form, and I think also just like connection and how bodies can interact. I think a lot of my work also has a lot of emotion in it and tied to it. A lot of the time it feels kind of like an extension of myself. So I do a lot of like self-portraiture, and kind of explore emotions that I sometimes can't put into words in a way. A lot of the time with my work, I want the viewer to look at it and be kind of confused and kind of like questioning different things in the work, because I feel like when I have viewed work or a lot of my favorite pieces of art, I'm left kind of like thinking about the choices that the artist made, or just like continuing to wonder what it's about. And I think I like to kind of replicate that in my work too, having the viewer not really leaving with an answer. And I think I really like to just like have that kind of questioning mentality while I'm creating as well. A lot of the time I am inspired by words, and specifically my twin sister is a poet. I've always loved her poetry. She likes to play with form, and we had this idea to do a Love Notes vending machine. She did the poems for it, and then I did the imagery and would screen print those. I also recently was at my first artist residency at Direct Angle Press, and I collaborated with my sister again. I wanted to make a zine about the experience of being twins, and so she did a poem and I made the zine through drawing and also some work with clay and photography and digital art. But that was a really cool, fun project. I was kind of like learning a new medium, but also getting to use all my other skills as well, and collaborate with my sister. These pieces all were from the Iskra Print Collective. So those were my first screen prints, and I actually collaborated with my sister on some of them where she did the poetry and I did the imagery, and that was kind of our first collab, which was super fun. My newest piece, called Here For You, I was kind of exploring the disorienting feelings of people pleasing and being able to play with distortion, specifically with oils, was really fun because you get that like smoothness and surreal aspect of everything blending together really nicely, and kind of created the image that I had in my head, which was really exciting. It's definitely also a piece that I want to continue like exploring with that theme. I feel like I used to kind of go through phases with my paintings of like, I'll be really excited about the idea and I'm working on it, and then I go through a phase of hating it. And then as I continue like pushing through, I'll start to get excited again, and then feel like I can't really push it anymore. But I think now too, I am learning to be okay with like finishing it for now, and then if there's something that I do want to change in the future, like it's okay to go back and change it. And it's kind of like allowed me to feel a little bit more like free and loose with my work. I think in the Burlington community, it's just so creative everywhere. There's so many people with different visual identities. It's so inspiring to always come into Burlington. There's just like so many opportunities, and so much support to the creative community here, whether it's different galleries or even restaurants and cafes that are always looking for local artists to show work. It's just a really super supportive environment, and I think that's been super influential in how I've navigated my art career so far, and just being able to put it out there in the world pretty accessibly. So what's next for me? I think definitely trying to do a series of distorted figurative work in oils, and I'd like to kind of challenge myself to work a little bit bigger, because I've done that in the past and it's super fun and kind of freeing to work at a larger scale. I'm also working on finishing my website to kind of have a place to put my work for sale, as well as have a landing place for like a portfolio of my paintings and things like that. I'm also hoping to do a series of smaller works, most likely oil paintings, about like, instead of landscapes, like fleshscapes. So more like figurative work, and hoping to possibly get input and reference images from the community. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going right now.